The Rise of Skywalker did a great many things to help, and at the same time in many fans' eyes hinder the Star Wars mythos and what came before it. With that said, we will in this video be discussing the implications on a character such as Anakin Skywalker that the Rise of Skywalker had for the Star Wars saga. So with that said and that out of the way, please understand that there will be full in-depth spoilers in this video, so if you do not wish to be spoiled, please click off now. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this big debate, and Disney defending themselves over certain creative decisions made in The Rise of Skywalker. One of the biggest problems that fans have with The Rise of Skywalker are the implications on the character of Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, and the return of Darth Sidious. As the Skywalker saga before the sequel trilogy was built up this Anakin Skywalker character as the chosen one that would bring balance to the Force and destroy the Sith, with this all coming to a crescendo in Return of the Jedi when Anakin did just that. When as Darth Vader, he threw Emperor Palpatine, his master, over a reactor shaft, and as a result himself gave his life in order to protect his son, again bringing balance to the Force and destroying the Sith in himself and Palpatine, fulfilling the Chosen One prophecy, which was the keystone of the entire Skywalker saga. However, again in The Rise of Skywalker, the character of Palpatine Darth Sidious returns, and he still remains a Sith Lord, with many fans actually having a very understandable problem with this idea, and the idea of undercutting Anakin Skywalker's sacrifice, and the prophecy of the Chosen One as a whole, and the idea that Anakin really did destroy the Sith, as again, since Palpatine returned, he essentially didn't, at least not permanently. The writer of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker had this to say, defending the decision to bring Palpatine back, but also why it was important not to undercut Return of the Jedi, and the sacrifice of Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Quote, "Of course, the sacrifice of Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi and bringing balance to the Force, we still had to honor that, and I think we do honor that in the film. We don't take the end of Return of the Jedi lightly at all, because it is one of the more beautiful moments in any film really, in seeing what Vader is willing to do for his son, no matter how bad he's become. Return of the Jedi was the first movie that I ever saw in a theater, and I remember just being rocked by what I saw in that moment, because it almost never had occurred to me as a kid that the bad guy could cease being a bad guy and could then be a good guy. The moment when Vader lifts Palpatine was a genuine shock to me, and it's a full truth and a full beauty. We had to be very careful about that. But if you look at some of the lore of Palpatine and the Sith, and the way that George has embedded ideas about the Sith into the mythology of Star Wars, there are ways the presence of that character can still cast its shadow in the future. I guess I'll leave it at that for the time being. Again, this interview is very interesting, and the way Disney seems to think about it and the way these new people at Lucasfilm think about it is that Anakin Skywalker's sacrifice was in fact legitimate, and it seems to be their explanation that Palpatine Darth Sidious was in fact vanquished from the Star Wars galaxy, just not permanently, but that for a time he was in fact dead. Some people have even described Palpatine coming back as the character not really being fully alive, just not being fully dead either. We also have to remember that of course in Legends continuity, the character of Darth Sidious also came back and undercutted Anakin Skywalker, but that story in Legends is held to a really high standard among Star Wars fans, as a lot of Star Wars fans really do enjoy the storyline of Palpatine coming back, and plaguing a Luke Skywalker even after the sacrifice of Vader, so we have to play it fair on both sides, although I do fully understand why the Star Wars fanbase would be upset and would appear as if they were undercutting the sacrifice of Anakin Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. But now that you've heard both sides, I would like to hear your thoughts on this, and how do you feel about this? Do you think that The Rise of Skywalker undercut the implications of Anakin Skywalker's impact on this entire Skywalker saga, and now does it lessen the overall impact for you in Return of the Jedi when Vader turns good and saves his son? Anyway, my friends, I appreciate you guys watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.